Namaskar. Welcome to the part number 5 of Rules and Important Points in Professional Prospects. Rules and Important Points, part number 5. In this part, we are going to study in a brief about DBA analysis and timing of event and some important points in analyzing the Dasabugdi periods. The Dasabugdi Antra analysis and timing of event, we had a detailed discussion in the previous chart analysis methodology that will be in detail in respect to all the life events. Now, I'm going to give some, brief discussion on the DB analysis and timing of event in respect to the professional prospects in this video. The first one, we are going to study the Dasa Lord. Once we studied the destiny planet, we have to look at the unfavorable and favorable key planets of the destiny. Suppose we are studying the 10th cuspal sublord to know the destiny, how the destiny prospect, it is favorable or unfavorable or mixed. So once we studied how the destiny prospect, then we have to study which are the favorable key planets making the destiny favorable or more favorable, or which are the unfavorable key planets making the destinies weak or unfavorable. So that we have to check. So favorable key planets of the destiny and unfavorable key planets of the destiny we have to identify. Then we have to study the Dasa Lord. Dasa Lord has to be studied as per the method of analysis discussed in the analysis methodology. We have to check if the Dasa Lord is favorable or unfavorable or mixed for the professional prospects. Like how we studied for the destiny, Dasa also we have to study whether Dasa is favorable or unfavorable or mixed. So we have to check the same way. Now, find the unfavorable and favorable key planets that are influencing or supporting the Dasa Lord as rulers and support. Suppose Dasa Lord also check which are the favorable key planets or which are the unfavorable key planets making the Dasa is favorable or unfavorable. We have to check. So that Dasa Lord can have the favorable or unfavorable key planets in their rulers or in supports also. We have to check that one. So refer chapter number 2, lesson number 15, part number 7, important points on key planets in the Dasabugdi Antra analysis. We have to check. Those, as I said, I have discussed in detail in the chapter number 2. This part number 7, lesson 15 will be more important. I will have some important points on the usage of the key planets in the Dasabugdi Antra analysis. That will be more useful. You can refer to that. We have to check if the Dasa Lord is having the unfavorable key planets of the destiny in the rulers and in support. Suppose 10th cuspal sublord, if it is Saturn. Saturn is having favorable key planets, Mercury and Sun in its rulers. And Saturn sublord, it is in the star of a planet, suppose Jupiter. The Jupiter is an unfavorable key planet, which is making the destiny weak. So unfavorable key planets of the destiny is Jupiter. Check the Dasa Lord, suppose Venus is Dasa Lord is running. Venus, if it is having the Jupiter in its star level or sub-level or star lord of the star lord or star lord of the sub-lord as a ruler, that Dasa Lord will have some strong unfavorable impact of the unfavorable key planet, because the unfavorable key planet which is influencing the destiny is also influencing the Dasa Lord. So find the unfavorable key planets. Check if the Dasa Lord is having the unfavorable key planets of the destiny in the rulers and also in support. Suppose Dasa Lord is Venus, it is not having the Jupiter in its rulers. But if Jupiter is conjoined with the Dasa Lord Venus or aspecting or in the star level of the star lord of the Venus or sublord of the Venus or having the Jupiter in its supports by Rasi Lord or conjunction or aspect. So the impact of the unfavorable key planet of the destiny planet is influencing the Dasa Lord by way of supports or by way of rulers. I think you are able to understand. If the Dasa Lord is having the unfavorable key planets of the destiny, especially in its rulers, the Dasa Lord is indicating that it will give unfavorable impact to the professional prospect during its Dasa period. It means Dasa Lord, if it is having unfavorable key planet in its rulers and that is already influencing the destiny, Dasa Lord is going to give strong unfavorable impact on the professional prospects. Suppose Dasa Lord is having other unfavorable key planet which is not there in the 10th sublord, it is not influencing the destiny, that also will give impact, but the impact will be more when the unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord is also influencing the destiny, or in other words, unfavorable key planets of the destiny is influencing the Dasa Lord it is playing, then the impact of the unfavorable will be high. If not, it will not cause any significant unfavorable impact on the professional prospect during its Dasa period. Suppose Dasa Lord is having an unfavorable key planet. Unfavorable key planet will give impact, but the impact that unfavorable key planet is not influencing the destiny planet, the unfavorable impact will not be significant. That the unfavorable key planet which is making the Dasa Lord, if it is there in the ruler of the destiny or influencing the destiny planet by way of supports also, it is enough. I think you are able to understand this one. Similarly, the same principle is applicable for the role of the favorable key planets of the destiny in the Dasa Lord. We have checked on the unfavorable key planet. Suppose, as I said, destiny favorable key planet is Mercury and Sun, which are making the destiny strong favorable. Suppose the Dasa Lord is also having that Mercury or Sun in its rulers. Venus is having that Venus in the star of Sun or sub of Mercury or star of Mercury and sub of Sun or whatever may be. It is the ruler of the Venus is having the key planets of the Dasa Lord is playing role. They are combinedly, that Dasa destiny planets favorable are influencing the Dasa Lord. So the compatibility will be strong between the destiny and the Dasa period. So Dasa Lord will be significantly favorable. Sometime what will happen, the favorable key planets of the destiny, Mercury and Sun, may not be playing role as the ruler of the Venus, but Venus may be in the star and sub of other favorable key planet, but that Mercury or Sun can be in the supports of this Dasa. That is also possible. So in short, check the destiny planet. Destiny is favorable and unfavorable key planets. You check it. Check the Dasa Lord, whether Dasa Lord is favorable or unfavorable or mixed one. So check the unfavorable key planets of the destiny. If it is playing role in the Dasa Lord, then impact will be more. Similarly, unfavorable key planets of the destiny, if it is playing role in the Dasa Lord, the favorable impact will be more. Suppose that destiny is not unfavorable. Destiny is signifying all favorable only. It is not having the unfavorable role of unfavorable key planets. It means destiny planet is favorable for the professional prospects. But Dasa Lord is having some unfavorable key planet. It means what? Though Dasa Lord is having unfavorable key planet in its rulers, since the destiny is not having unfavorable, that impact of the unfavorable of the Dasa will be comparatively lesser. If the destiny also having unfavorable and Dasa Lord also unfavorable, especially having got that unfavorable key planet of the destiny in the ruler, then only the Dasa Lord will be comparatively more unfavorable. I think we're able to understand. So we have to study the destiny, then you study the Dasa. Based on the destinies impact only, Dasa Lords impact will be there. That you have to keep it in mind. Once we studied the Dasa Lord, now let us check the Buddhi Lord. Now we have to study the Buddhi Lord. We have to study if the Buddhi Lord is favorable or unfavorable or mixed for the professional prospects. How we studied for Dasa, the same way we have to study the Buddhi Lord. Next, we have to check if the Buddhi Lord is having unfavorable key planets in its rulers and in supports. If the unfavorable key planets are in the rulers of the Buddhi Lord, the unfavorable impact will be significant. If they are ruling as the ruler and also in its supports forming ruler's link, the unfavorable impact will be stronger. It means if the Buddhi Lord, if it is unfavorable or it is having unfavorable key planets in its rulers, it is going to be significant. Apart from it is ruling and also in its supports, then automatically it is going to form ruler's link. The unfavorable impact will be stronger. The Buddhi Lord who is under the influence of the favorable or unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord will give significant impact. That this is called a pilt connection, right? Planetary interlink theory. We have studied the Dasa Lord. The Dasa Lord's favorable and unfavorable key planets we checked in the previous slide. Then we are studying on the Buddhi Lord. Now we are studying whether the Buddhi Lord is under the influence of the favorable or unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord if it is present. If it is present, it will give significant impact, either favorable or unfavorable. If no such role of key planets of the Dasa Lord is present in the Buddhi, the impact will not be significant as Buddhi Lord under that Dasa. This is called a pilt impact. Suppose Dasa Lord is having, as we discussed, favorable if it is having, say, sun it is having, and unfavorable, this is favorable key planet, and unfavorable key planet, suppose Jupiter is playing, unfavorable key planet, making the Dasa is weak, it is Jupiter. Suppose that Buddhi Lord, suppose that under the, for example, it is Venus Dasa. Under Venus Dasa, for example, Saturn Buddhi is running. In Saturn Buddhi, if Jupiter is playing role, unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord, if it is playing role in the Saturn as a star lord or sub lord, that Saturn will give significant unfavorable impact because of the Jupiter unfavorable key planet. It is also there in the Dasa Lord. This is called pilt connections. Similarly, if the Saturn, if it is not having the Jupiter in its rulers, or it is not under the influence of the Jupiter, that that Buddhi Lord will not give significant unfavorable impact under that Venus Dasa. It is applicable for the favorable also. So no such role of key planets of the Dasa Lord, it is present in Buddhi, the impact will not be significant as Buddhi Lord under that Dasa. The same Buddhi can give some significant impact on the unfavorable. Suppose Saturn is having some unfavorable key planet. That key planet is not ruling the Dasa. In that case, the Buddhi under this Dasa will not be significantly unfavorable. But the same Buddhi under some other Dasa, that Dasa, if it is having the unfavorable key planet of the Saturn in its ruler, that Jupiter, that Dasa and Buddhi will form pilt connection and will give, combinedly, they will give unfavorable impact strongly. This is called pilt impact. Role of unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord in the Buddhi Lord. Let me explain again. Check if the unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord is present in the rulers of the Buddhi. If present, the Buddhi Lord under that Dasa Lord can give significant unfavorable impact that we explained. If the Dasa Lord's unfavorable key planet is not present in the rulers of the Buddhi, it may not give the significant impact under that Dasa Lord. Suppose if the Buddhi Lord is having the other unfavorable key planets in its ruler, suppose Saturn is having, say, for example, Mercury in its ruler. Mercury is unfavorable key planet which is influencing the Saturn, but this Jupiter is not playing. But this Jupiter is influencing this Mercury by way of aspect or conjunction, or the Buddhi Lord itself is under the influence of the Jupiter by way of conjunction or aspect. It means the Bugdilad is having other unfavorable key planet in its rulers, but Dasa Lord's unfavorable key planet, that is Jupiter here, in its supports, it can give significant unfavorable impact under that Dasa. It means the role of the unfavorable key planet, the Dasa Lord, is playing role in supports of the Bugdilad, and that Bugdilad also having some other unfavorable key planet. The impact of these Jupiter and Mercury supports and rulers will have combined unfavorable impact under that dasa. I think you're able to understand how we have studied for the unfavorable key planet for the dasa lord. Similarly, role of favorable key planets of the dasa lord in Bugdilad has to be studied. Similarly, the same principle is applicable for the role of favorable key planets of the dasa lord in the Bugdilad. Here, which is the favorable key planet making the dasa? Venus is strongly favorable. Suppose Venus itself can be a favorable key planet in self-signification, and Venus is having other favorable key planet Sun, so that the book Dasa Lord is having the favorable key planet Venus and Sun. That Bugdilad Saturn, if it is having that Venus and Sun its rulers or in supports or in both, that planet Bugdilad will give significant favorable impact under that Venus Dasa. That you have to keep it in mind. If it is there in the ruler and also in supports forming pilt connection, the impact will be more. If it is only in the rulers, yes, it will be significant. It is the unfavorable key planets only in supports of the Bugdilad that is going to give some obstacles. I think you are able to understand. So we have now studied the Bugdilad. Next, we have to study the Antara. Antara Lord. We have to study if the Antara Lord is favorable or unfavorable or mixed for the professional prospects. First, we have to study the strength of the favorable or unfavorable or mixed signification signified by the Antara Lord. The Antara Lord who is under the influence of the favorable or unfavorable key planets of the Bugdilad will give significant impact. If no such role of key planets of the Bugdilad is influencing the Antara, the impact will not be significant as Antara Lord under that Bugdi. Suppose the Bugdilad is having one or two unfavorable key planets. If the Antara Lord is also under the influence of those unfavorable key planets of the Bugdilad, then that Antara Lord will give significant impact as Antara Lord under that Bugdi. If not, that impact will not be significant. Hence, the Antara Lord should be strong enough to execute the result signified by the Bugdilad in its period by way of its significations and along with the influence from the key planets of the Bugdilad. So the Antara Lord should be supportive for the event, and also if it is having the influence of the key planets of the Bugdilad, then the impact will be strong in execution, the result. When the Bugdilad is a mixed significator for an event, a particular antara which is showing the unfavorable significations along with the influence of the unfavorable key planets of the Bugdilad will give the unfavorable result during its antara period under that Bugdi. Suppose one Bugdilad is mixed, both favorable and unfavorable. Suppose the Antara Lord, particular Antara Lord is having the unfavorable signification, and along with that, influence of this unfavorable key planet of the Bugdilad, that Antara Lord will give unfavorable impact during that Antara period under that Bugdi. Similarly, another Antara which is showing the favorable significations along with the influence of this unfavorable key planet of the Bugdilad, that planet will give favorable result during its Antara period under the Bugdi. So within one Bugdi, two different Antaras will give different result. Even Antra, it is showing favorable signification and it is having the influence of the favorable key planets of that Bugdi Lord. It will give the strong favorable result during the Antra period under that Bugdi. Similarly, if that antra, if it is having favorable signification, wherein that influence of the favorable key planets of the Bugdil are present, that will give strong, significant favorable result during its antra period under that Bugdi, right? In Antra, the role of favorable and unfavorable key planets of the Bugdilad have to be studied directly as its rulers and or in supports. Not required that that Bugdi Lord's favorable or unfavorable key planets will be directly playing role as the ruler in the Antra Lord. It can be there in supports also. If they are, if they are acting as the ruler, then automatically they are going to be directly, it is going to be unfavorable. Sometimes they will be playing role in supports that also will be supportive. I will explain how. The role of the other key planets in rulers and the key planets of the Bugdilad in supports also will be significant. It means one Antra planet in its planet level, star level, or in its rulers, it is having other key planets. Suppose one Bugdilad in the Bugdilad, for example, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury. These three are the favorable or unfavorable. For example, they are the unfavorable key planets, making that Bugdi, it affecting the Bugdi by way of rulers. Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury are the unfavorable key planets of the Bugdi. In the Antra Lord, one Antra, that Bugdi Lord, so unfavorable key planet Jupiter, Saturn, or Mercury, they can be as a ruler directly. So that is directly going to be significant in acting as the Antra under the Bugdi. Sometime what will happen in another Antra, rulers will not have these Jupiter, Saturn, or Mercury, but the rulers can have other unfavorable key planet or other weak key planet in their rulers, but these Jupiter, Saturn, or Mercury may be in supports supporting this weak ruler by way of supports. So the influence of the unfavorable key planets of the Bugdi will be there as supports to the rulers of the Antra, which is already having some weakness. So that way also that Antra Lord can give significant unfavorable impact under that Bugdi as Antra Lord. I think you're able to understand. So here the role of the key planets of the Dasa Lord can also further add strength in addition to the key planets of the Bugdi Lord. It means when Antra Lord, not only the role of the Bugdi, in addition to that, Dasalat's unfavorable key planets are also playing role, or favorable key planets are also playing role. The impact is going to be increased. That is obvious, right? So that is what I think you have to keep it in mind, the role of the Dasa, Bugdi, and Antras key planets impact. Now, destiny, Dasa, Bugdi, Antara planets combined study. It means in brief, the Dasa, Bugdi, Antara planets are associated with each other with the favorable or unfavorable key planets as their rulers and supports. They will combinedly will give significant result, either favorable or unfavorable. This is the principle of pilt connections, right? Hence, the destiny, Dasa, Bugdi, Antra combined effect has to be studied carefully. So we have to study this flow, chain, destiny, Dasa, Bugdi, Antra, combinedly what they are going to give, we have to study. And that is called the pilt. Refer the lesson chapter number 2. Lesson 15, part 4, explanation on the fourth step in birth chart analysis for DBA predictions and timing of event. So this lesson I already discussed some important points about this DBA analysis and predictions for timing of event. So that also you can refer. So we have studied the Dasa Bukti Antra planets combined effect and also timing for the timing of event. Now the another important point is the role of transit planets. We have seen that most of the or many of the people are giving importance to the role of transit in the predictions. Of course, that is correct. But just role of transit alone will not be giving the result that we have to keep it in mind. I already explained under one chapter exclusively for transit I have already given. The transit is like a support. So for example, when we are studying the Dasa, Bugdi, and Antra, we are taking the support planets, how they are all supporting these planets by way of influencing with the favorable or unfavorable, right? So they are primary, then support planets are going to be secondary. That's what we are discussing, right? So DBA predictions, their analysis, their combined effect is the primary. The role of that transit is like a support, it is secondary. The supportive transit of the Dasa Bugdi Antralad planets will add further favorable support to the favorable impact of the Dasa Bugdi Antra planets or reduce the unfavorable impact of the Dasa Bugdi Antra planets. It means that supportive transit of the Dasa Bugdi Antra planets. Dasa Bugdi Antra, if they are in the transit of favorable, they are in favorable transit, definitely they are going to further add favorable support to the favorable impact of the Dasa Bhukti planets. Or suppose the Dasa Bhukti Antara, if they are all indicating some weakness in their signification, in the transit, if they are all transiting on favorable way, their unfavorable impact will be reduced, right? The unfavorable, second point, the unfavorable transit of the Dasa Bhukti Antralad planets. Here, first one I was telling about the favorable transit. Here, unfavorable transit of the Dasa Bhukti Antralad planets will add further unfavorable impact to the Dasa Bhukti Antra planets or reduce the favorable impact of the Dasa Bhukti planet. So the both are same. It means if the transit is good, favorable, it will give further adds favorable support to the favorable Dasa Bhukti Antra. Suppose the transit of the Dasa Bhukti are not good, they can either increase the unfavorable impact of the Dasa Bhukti Antara planet significations or they will reduce the favorable impact of the Dasa Bhukti Antara planet significations. I think you are able to understand, right? They are all going to act as the supports. Suppose one planet is indicating trouble giving houses to the profession. Okay. That Dasa is indicating weak, Bhukti is indicating unfavorable significations for the professional prospects. Suppose that the Bugdi Lord in transit also in the star of the unfavorable key planet or the star lord or the star lord in the unfavorable transit. It means in transit also it is weak. So that support what it can give from the transit also it is going to be furthermore increasing the unfavorable signification of the Bugdi. Suppose the Bugdi Lord is in the transit, it is in the star and sign and star of the favorable key planets. So it is favorable in the transit, but only in the Dasa period it is unfavorable. So what will happen? The Dasa lords, that Bugdi lords, unfavorable impact will be a little bit reduced by the favorable transit. Understand? So the base is that Dasa Bhukti Antara signification and the transit is going to be a supportive one. Similarly, we can also consider the affliction caused by the transit of the unfavorable key planets to the Dasa Bhukti planets in the natal chart. It means, suppose in one chart, Saturn planet is unfavorable key planet in the natal chart. Unfavorable key planet is Saturn. Suppose that Saturn in the Dasa Bugdi Antra during that period, the transit of that Saturn is influencing the Dasa Lord. Dasa Lord is favorable, for example. But transit of the Saturn, unfavorable key planet, that is Saturn, is afflicting the Dasa Lord by way of conjunction or aspect. It means that favorable key planet is influenced by the unfavorable key planet by way of transit. That also can reduce the favorable strength of the Dasa Lord or can increase the favorable strength of the Dasa Lord. You understand? So it means previous point, it was telling that Dasa Lord in the star of your planet, unfavorable key planet, so the transit is going to be weak, right? Here, unfavorable key planet is influencing the Dasa Lord by way of conjunction or aspect. That is called the, they are influenced by or affected by the unfavorable key planet. That is applicable for favorable key planets also. So that way also the affliction caused by the transit of unfavorable key planets to the Dasabhukti planets in the natal chart. Similarly, affliction or now suppose support caused by the transit of the favorable key planets to the Dasabhukti Antra in the natal chart, that also we can take it. Understand? There are all the additional points in addition to the Dasabhukti Antra planets, significations, right? This, though I am talking about these points for the profession now, but this is in general applicable for all the events. Kind note. The role of transit will be a supportive factor to the Dasabhukti Antara planets. Hence, during the study with the example chart for the timing of events on the professional prospects and other events, the discussion on the transit is not done. Only I remember in the study on the timing of event for the marriage, and of course in child also I would have discussed about the transit, because they are all very strong, significant event in the life, right? The very important life event. So the transit is going to be a very important supportive tool. But whereas for the professional prospects and other events, then they are all going to be a regular event. So wherein that I would have not, discussed on the role of transit on that, because role of transit can be anything, anytime that the supportive transit can have many days. But all the time that native will not get the significant favorable result. Only based on the Dasa Bhukti Antara Sukshma periods only. That is the source. Based on that the native is going to experience. But the transit can further increase or reduce the favorable or unfavorable impact as I discussed. So I would have not discussed on the transit, role of transit in the study with the example charts in the coming videos. But does not mean that it is not taken into consideration. It means that the transit is not taken into consideration. But the importance has been given to the destiny, Dasa, Bhukti, Antara combined effect as they are primary. So that you will have the more focus on this one. So once you have understood that, the other points and all you can add according to your convenience. But you can include the role of transit to find the additional support or impact during your study. This one you have to keep it in mind. The supportive transit will add further support to the DBA effect. Follow the rules and method of analyzing the transit under the chapter 2, lesson 11. I already given such points in chapter 2, lesson 11. That also you can study, though I have already briefed here. I think you are able to understand the role of transit in the timing of event or in predictions. Some important points while studying a planet for professional prospects. Number one, a planet having the 5, 8, 12 grouping of houses, that is unfavorable key planet in itself significations, can give unfavorable impact to the professional prospects to other planets directly by acting as the star lord or sublord, or indirectly as support planet. right? Unfavorable key planets can give unfavorable impact on the professional prospect to other planets by way of acting as their star lord or sublord, or indirectly as their support planet. It means either as a ruler or support planet. Second point, if the destiny planet, cuspal lord or importantly cuspal sublord of the 10th house, importantly 10th cusp, it is in the star of the other, above unfavorable key planets. I was telling, 5 by 12 grouping of houses. If the destiny planet is in the star of these unfavorable key planet, that planet will give strong unfavorable effect on the professional prospects. Based on the sublord, the final output will be present. That we have to keep it in mind, right? Third one, a planet and its star lord combinedly forming 5 by 12 grouping, that is unfavorable house grouping, if it is formed by the planet and the star lord, can give unfavorable impact on the professional prospects. Based on the sublord, the final impact will be present. What I was telling, the star lord can be unfavorable, or planet and star lord combinedly can give this unfavorable impact. That planet can give the unfavorable impact on the professional prospects. A planet which is forming 5-9 grouping in its planet, star lord and sublord combined level. Suppose planet and star lord having fifth house or ninth house, all levels are having unfavorable 5 and 9 only. Weak houses are present, but without the favorable 6, 10, 11. These houses are not unfavorable because of without the 8th house or 12th house. But 5, 9 are present, no unfavorable 8 and 12, but similarly, no favorable houses are also not there. It means it will become weak for the professional prospects. Absence of 8 and 12 is good only, but absence of favorable 6th house or 10th house or 11 importantly is not there, then it will become weak for the professional prospects because they will take upper hand. A planet which is not forming 5/8/12 or 9/8/12 grouping in its planet star level, sublord combined levels, will not be unfavorable for the professional prospects. It will become supportive for Lagna, and with the presence of 2, 6, 10, 11 grouping of the houses will become favorable for the professional prospects. It means a planet which is not forming this unfavorable grouping in the levels, combined levels, if it is not there, it is not unfavorable for the professional prospects, right? It will become supportive for the Lagna, right? Because these houses are, 5, 8, 12 or 8 and 12 grouping, 8 and 12, it is not there, it is not going to be unfavorable to the Lagna, right? It is not there. If it is not there, and also it is having the favorable grouping of the houses which are favorable for the profession, if it is present, it will become favorable for the professional prospects. It means absence of the unfavorable key planets in the rulers, or in the combined levels also, this grouping is not formed, that planet will not be unfavorable, it will be supportive. Presence of favorable grouping making that planet is supportive for the event. Suppose what will happen, sometime planet will have 5th house, star lord will have 8th house, and sublord will have 8th house or 12th house. Then it means combined level they will have 5, 5, 5th lord in the star of a planet which is occupying 8th house. Sublord planet is also occupying 12th house or 12th lord. 5 by 12, it's signified by the planet and star level and sub level combined level. So they will have some impact. Definitely that combined level will have some unfavorable impact. If it is also having favorable houses, that impact is going to be comparatively lesser. If it is not having that favorable grouping, then impact is going to be more. So each and every house, when they are having combined impact, they have got some value. Depending on the grouping of houses and depending on the favorable grouping of houses, the impact will be different. That we have to keep it in mind. A planet which is having 1, 2, 3, 6, 10 or 11 grouping in its planet, star lord, sublord combined levels will be more favorable for the professional prospects. Suppose you look at a planet, look at the planet star level, stub level, all levels you check it, they are all having that favorable houses to the Lagna. 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 11 houses are all present. And even fifth house, ninth house also can be there without the 8 and 12 grouping. Without the 8th house and 12th house are all playing role in the combined levels, that planet is more favorable for the professional prospects. Without the 8 and 12 houses, without the 8 and 12 houses, planet, star level, sub level are having Lagna, second house, third house, fifth house, and 11th house. If they're all present, seventh house, no 8 and 12, no 6 and 10 also. If these houses are present, this is also favorable for the professional prospect. That you have to keep it in mind. So absence of unfavorable 8 and 12, which is not supported into the fifth house, but 5 is supported by the third house and also 11th house. So level-wise combined level, we have to keep the presence of favorable or more or unfavorable are present. And if these planets are having this favorable 6th house and 10th house key planet in the support, that will give additional supports. That we have to keep it in mind. So I think we're able to understand the important points. We have to keep it in mind. One more point also we have to keep it in mind, that I was telling while we were studying in the previous slide itself, you check the destiny. If the destiny within the limit fixed by the destiny only, Dasa will be acting, right? Destiny planet, if it is having weak significator, it is not, it is having some weak. It is, it is not very good professional prospect. It is moderate professional prospects. If the Dasa Lord is good, though Dasa Lord is good, it is not having the unfavorable key planet of the destiny. So Dasa Lords, though it is, it is favorable, but it is not having the unfavorable key planet of the destiny. It is good only. But since the destiny already weak, Dasa Lords, that level of favorable supports is going to be limited to the destiny. Destiny is, suppose it is saying I'm going to be supportive for only 70%, only it has got some weakness also, destiny signified. The Dasa Lord, if it is, even if it is having 100% favorable, that 100% is limited to the 70% of the destiny only, because destiny is fixing the limit. So within that limit fixed by the destiny only, Dasa Lord will be acting. Suppose the destiny is 100% favorable. It is favorable only, no unfavorable planets are making the destinies weak. Suppose the Dasa Lord is having some weakness in its rulers. Though Dasa Lord will definitely give some impact on the unfavorable side, but that impact will not be strongly unfavorable, because destiny is very good. When the destiny is very good, the weak Dasa also will not be that much weaker, will give a weak. I'm not saying that will not be weaker. It will be weaker. It will give a weak signification, but the impact will not be that much weaker, because destiny is very good. So I think we're able to understand. So if the limit is fixed by the destiny, based on that only Dasa, based on that Dasa only Bukti, that combined chain we have to check. I think we're able to understand this point. I have already discussed this one in the Dasa Bukti Antara, that analysis in the previous chapter. Just I'm revising here. So that will be more useful. You can go through that previous video also. So that will be more useful, so that you can recap those things and before proceeding to the example charts. So we will meet in the next video. Good luck.